Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and they say till death do us part, but as we know how divorces go, they are messy. They bring out the ugly in us, and you know, it ain't till death do us part at all. Ooh, this is a loaded subject. I need a drink in my hand, and I got my guy Angel from Ninfas here. What do you have for me, darling?
I got a blood orange paloma.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Perfect, refreshing, because this is about to get a little heated, don't you think?
Yeah.
But actually, is there a way to get a good divorce? I've got a couple of divorcees and a lawyer in the building. Let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, let's dive into good old divorce. We've got Johnny Gentry joining us to talk about his journey. We've got Teresa Canton back and divorce attorney Brittany Sterling to tell us about the good, the bad, and the ugly she done seen herself. All right, so divorce, it's pretty messy. And that is the truth no matter what, even if it's amicable or not. How would you describe your divorce, Johnny?
You know, comparatively, compared to divorces I've seen, I would say mine was amicable. The idea was that when we married, it was till death do us part. We did a 25-year run.
Oh, wow.
So at the end of the day, we both acknowledged that it was a great run. We accomplished a lot. We got 4 amazing children out of the journey. So, and we're good friends today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, amicable does sound like the right term there.
Yeah.
Also, we're gonna have to dive into what made it amicable,
For sure.
amicable versus messy.
For sure.
What about for you, Teresa?
Mine was opposite. So got married young, married for a year, immediately had a baby, and it was about a year and some change. And then it was me that wanted to exit the marriage with an infant, and it was not sweet. It was not easy at first at all. It hasn't really been, I mean, for the first couple of years, that's pretty hairy, but when there is little kids involved, especially a baby who has no idea what's going on, you know, I was sweating it a
You
little
were
bit.
sweating.
Trying to be fair, trying not to let my anger show, and being younger, you're more irrational, you know.
Right.
Now I think if I got divorced again, it would be a little bit different. But like, I'm just, you know, irrational, you're young, you want what's yours, you're mad. So it was a little like right out of the gate hot.
Hot, yeah.
It was hot.
So, leading up to wanting a divorce, did you ask for the divorce?
I did, I filed.
Okay, y'all both filed.
Yeah.
So how is that, making that decision?
Nerve-wracking. I was sweating. I was nervous.
Yeah, a lot of prayer, a lot of counsel. It was gut-wrenching.
When you say counsel, like, did you guys try relationship therapy?
We did relationship therapy early on. We had pastoral counseling. We had our village, you know, in our circle giving us advice. And it felt very selfish, but it felt like the right decision.
After all of that,
Yeah.
right? What about for you, Teresa?
I filed, you know, and he did not want it. I wanted it. I had to stick to my guns, and I knew what I wanted. You know, I had to find the attorney. He didn't want to have any part of it, so I had to do all the dirty work. Like, take a deep breath, just know this was the best thing for what we needed to do. And it's knowing, like, they let you know in advance, like, we're gonna serve him today. And I'm just like, oh, you know, we're gonna do it at his job. And I remember thinking, do we have to do it there? And they don't care. They didn't care. And I was like, can we do it at his house? Or they went straight while he was at work. And that hit me in the gut. I did not want to go right there. But a lot of these, they didn't give me a choice. They were like, here's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna serve him here. And I was just like, ugh. It was kind of cringy.
That
I
reminds
felt
me of,
bad.
like Olivia Wilde being served while she's like on a panel.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Brittany, I want to bring you into this. First of all, the statistics between men and women in heterosexual relationships. Who serves more? Is it men or women?
I would say women probably file more than men. I
Wow.
think in my experience and in my practice, women will hire me to go ahead and file first. If it's a man who's the client, then he's already been served on and he's, you know, responding to the divorce papers.
Got you. And I mean, do you have to serve it at work or?
No,
or
you
in a
don't have to
public
serve
place?
it at work. You can serve them at their house, or you can serve them at a place that you know they're going to be. But if that person is dodging service, or you know, they don't want anything to do with the divorce, or if you want to catch them by surprise, then serving them at work is probably the reason.
Was that a power move? Like, I wanted like a power move to like catch them off guard and
It could be.
throw them off.
But
there.
I always consult with the client to kind of figure out what they're comfortable with. I ask them, well, what terms are you on right now? Like, are you speaking? Are you still living in the house together? You know, things like that. So that will give me an idea of where and how we're going to serve the person.
Right. So Johnny, in your instance, you guys were clearly still together, trying to work things out. It was obvious that the D word was being thrown around.
Right.
Teresa, what was it for you? Were you like, actually, I'm done. I'm not even going to discuss
you
this?
know, again, when you're younger, you know, the arguments are more heated. You're not as rational on both ends. We did try going to counseling. We did a couple rounds of that, and it was just, I don't know. Now looking back at it now, you know, we did the right thing. We're both remarried, both have more children, like everything's great. But I just had to like rip the Band-Aid off. I think a lot of women get nervous. I've had girlfriends who know what they want, but they don't because they're scared and they don't know if the kids are gonna get taken away from them. That whole fight, and it's. I've never been more stressed in my entire life than going through a divorce with an infant. You know, having my girl tribe step up to help me with her, and it was. I would never redo it again. But being young made it more irrational, heated, and But I knew it had to be done, and we had to walk through the fire. That's all I kept thinking.
Brittany, have you ever had people come to you and they're like, all right, I'm going to go through with this, and then get cold feet and say, no, actually, I don't want to do it?
Yes, I have that happen quite often. People will call me and say, I'm ready to hire you. They will literally give me the money, and I will draft up their divorce papers, get ready to file it, and they'll say, oh, I changed my mind.
Wow. Okay. All right, well, when we come back, I definitely want to dive into how to make it amicable before it gets a little too crazy and the bridges are burned. You stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking divorce. Yep, that D word. We've got Johnny, we've got Teresa, and we've got divorce attorney Brittany Sterling. All right. 25 years to decide to divorce sounds like a long time.
Yeah.
To be committed to one person and then decide it ain't for me. But you did try everything. So what were the signs to you? How did the love fall away? Like what was it?
Yeah. You know, she was 19, I was 24 when we got married.
Okay.
We had 4 amazing children. In the 25 years, I made some mistakes. I believe that when trust is broken, respect is lost. And when respect is lost, we feel like we can talk to each other. However, things can get toxic. You can try to heal. You can try to recover. And I think that in our case, it was best that we healed apart because it didn't seem to work out together. Trying to heal together didn't seem to work out. So, but make no mistakes about it. She's an amazing lady. And we're still great friends.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oof, how many times is it people who have tried to do everything that they can to stay together that come and see you? Or is it typically just like, you know what, I'm surprising them, I'm over it, I'm done with the fights?
By the time someone has decided to hire an attorney to get a divorce, they have exhausted all possibilities. They have tried the counseling. They have, done everything that they can. And I always tell people who are kind of like on the fence, not sure, I say you have to do everything that you can to save this marriage. If you feel like this is your last resort, then go ahead and hire me and let's file. But it has to be the last resort.
Yeah.
Oh, have you turned people away for that? Have you ever been like, you're not ready for me yet?
If they are not sure and they just want to see what their options are, I tell them, you need to do everything that you can. Just from a person to person.
Have you had people you give that advice to and they actually don't even come back? Or do they typically come back?
Sometimes they do come back, but it'll be months and months, several months later. They'll come back and they said, I did what you said. I tried everything and I'm here. I'm ready.
What would you guys do differently if you had to approach the divorce again? Is there anything you would do differently? You
being married 25 years, you're adults, you've got adult children, me being younger, I think it's the fighting and the bickering, in front of little children. That's, my daughter was 1 and we had some screaming matches, and you have to deal with splitting up your custody, and it affected our daughter. She was just had no idea what was going on. So it was sleepless nights. That stressed me out. And arguing in front of her was absolutely the worst thing we could have done. Once you separate, you take your breath, you start getting your new game plan. It gets a little better. But fighting in front of the kids, you gotta shelve it. You gotta shelve it. And once we started doing that and realized she's the plan, that's the bean right there. So it made it a little bit easier. So I maybe would have waited a little bit longer. I probably would have tried a little bit longer. We tried. I probably would have given it another year, seen how, but it's okay because it happened and I think it was meant to be.
Right. You're both now
We're in a
happily
good place
married
now.
to other people.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of the children, like how much did you show your 4 kids? Bring them into the fold? Did you disagree in front of them? What was it like for you?
Our family is very tight, and our kids were probably our medicine throughout the divorce process. They're very resilient. So yeah, we incorporated them. We were pretty transparent on an age-appropriate level.
Right.
With what was going on. My kids are all comedians, so they had us cracking up the whole time. Wow. And it was like, Daddy, if you happy, Mama, if you happy, y'all just, y'all do what y'all do. But it was painful. You asked what we do differently. I would definitely have probably moved with more communication. Because when the divorce ensued, I just was like, went gangster and was like, okay, it's me against the world. And I was kind of harsh with some of my moves. And because that was kind of the level that we were communicating on.
Like y'all were only communicating through your attorneys and not...
We tried communicating with each other, but then it got to a point where it was like, yeah, don't talk to me. Just talk to my, talk to my attorney.
And is that the right thing to do, Brittany?
It just depends. I mean, sometimes if it's a very contentious relationship and it's a very contentious divorce, then you might want to have your attorney communicate with their attorney because the attorneys is going to be more level-headed. They're not as emotionally invested as you are, and they can communicate and get their point across effectively as to where you in the divorce, may be just speaking on emotion and you might say some things that you regret.
Oh, so Johnny, you were getting emotional. You were getting a little too tough.
I have a winner's mentality, and like if we're gonna go to war, I'm not going to be the casualties. And so I think that was, I think that inspired my harsh approach. But I think what makes it more amicable is, number one, kind of both parties being in therapy, if possible, working out those issues, avoiding triggers, avoiding the shaming and the blaming, because that shaming and blaming, we're talking about assets or something, and also we get into shaming and blaming about stuff that happened 10, 15 years ago. Right. I think avoiding those triggers, avoiding the shaming and blaming, using the lawyers when necessary, and just trying to clothe ourselves in humility. We're both, my ex and I are both believers, and we try to lift our faith as, as paramount, and doesn't always prevail, but I think having those things in place can help make things more amicable.
Got it. All right. Well, I want to know about love after divorce. So when we come back, we'll see if they decided to shy away from it or if they approached it full on. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about divorce, but now I want to know what it's like after the divorce. We've got Johnny, we've got Teresa, and we've got divorce attorney Brittany Sterling. All right, so how long after the divorce did it take y'all to go back into the dating scene?
You went quicker than I did.
Yeah, I think men do that. I think men tend to move on faster than women statistically.
Wow.
My ex-husband dated like months after. I waited years, maybe even like 5 years. I did. I wanted to focus on our daughter. I was like, I was a child of divorce, so I'm like, this is my little person, and I got to dedicate everything I can to her. And I didn't want to bring jaded relationship. I didn't want to bring. This didn't work out. I don't want to introduce her to. So I waited like 5 years to get serious with anybody. He immediately date, engaged, all of it.
What?
Yeah,
Did he divorce again, or is he still married?
He's still married.
Wow.
Two more kids. I'm remarried, one more child. So yeah, and we have a nice little blended family now. We're older and we can work it out. But yeah, and I got mad. I
know you did.
And we tried to give it a go after that. I will admit it right here. I was like, what? And that made me want to give it another try. Again, young, you're dumb, but that's kind of the formula. And he was like, well, and we tried for like a minute, and then I was like, no, we made the right decision.
It was
but
the
I was
jealousy
like,
and envy
wait,
for you,
was this
right?
my wake-up call? Did I do this? Did I pull the trigger too soon? But yeah, we tried, and he went right straight into marriage.
Wow. What
Yeah.
about you?
It's not good for man to be alone. The Bible says.
Is that what you taught us? The Bible says.
I went from a 4,500 square foot home with 4 kids in the home and to a luxury apartment by myself. And it was excruciating. Being lonely was excruciating for me, because I'm not a loner type. And so kids was like, Daddy, just wait, slow down, slow your roll. It probably took me maybe 3 or 4 months before I tried out a dating site.
Okay.
And I did the dating site thing, and I did that, and eventually, got off the dating site, prayed about it, found love.
Found love.
Found love.
Okay, so are you married? What's up?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But you found the lady that potentially.
Found my person.
Okay.
We're on cruise control.
Okay.
Just enjoying the ride, and just super grateful, super happy. Didn't think I deserved to be in love this soon,
Okay.
but God.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, were either of y'all scared to marry again after having been through a divorce?
Yeah, very. Yes, I always made jokes that I was going to be like, Cher, Elizabeth Taylor, and just be like, this is one of many, But yeah, I was pretty gun shy about it. I had some serious dating stuff, and then I didn't get remarried until 2016. But when I met my husband, who was also divorced, it's a joke that you say you need like that starter marriage, and I don't say that as a joke because you put 25 years into it, but we both kind of learned our lesson. He had been divorced, I've been divorced, so we kind of knew we were never going to do that again unless it was like ironclad. So we're now going to be 8 years strong, married, our children and my ex-husband's children, like we make sure to every birthday of our daughter, we have it together. Even if you don't want to, and you want to grit your teeth and be like, because you always have to deal with something when it comes to that. But we do it for her, and it's just, and it's made her very level-headed. Like my daughter will go, it seems weird to think that you and dad were even ever together because I've never seen it. And we're also like this one big modern blended family, and it doesn't even bother me. She's like, I'm very level-headed, and she says that. So we're happy that we did. I'm happy the way I did it, the way I did. I waited. I made her priority. She still is, but yeah. So I didn't get married till way later, but everything's happy.
Everything is
hunky-dory.
happy. All right, so Brittany, how do we make a divorce happy? What are the proper steps to make it amicable, civil, not as messy? Is there a way?
I think you have to have respect for the other spouse. You kind of have to be on the same page about what your goals are. So just with divorce, the more variables in the marriage, the uglier the divorce is gonna be. So if you're gonna throw kids in there, a lot of property in there, if it's a long marriage, like 25 years, it's probably gonna be, ugly. But just try to have respect for your spouse, and if you both want a divorce, then it can be amicable. Don't go below the belt.
Oh.
I think financially, I think the finances make it really ugly, with child support, and then I'm a female, obviously, and women can get pretty vindictive on the money, where I see men go through it, so it's on, I will admit, like both men and women, I've seen the ugly on each side. So I'm like, I can't be that girl. I've never wanted to be that person. So I watch others train wrecks, and I'm like, I don't want my daughter to grow up to be some, I don't know, basket case. So, but yeah, I know that women can drag you through it financially.
I kind of always say women will do everything underhanded to get money, and men will do everything underhanded to keep it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully it can be done amicably. Listen, if you're about to file for a divorce, think about it. Do everything you can to potentially make the marriage work, right? And if not, well, hire a good lawyer like my girl Brittany.
Yes.
All right? Well, cheers to y'all. Thank y'all for coming
Cheers,
on and
Carolina.
being vulnerable.
Cheers.
I can tell Johnny really liked this, but
I
I'm
know.
going behind
It's
the
good.
bar with my guy Angel from Ninfas. Show me how to make this delicious mezcal cocktail. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. I'm behind the bar with Angel Bellman, the beverage director at Ninfas, and you're here to do what?
Back that glass up.
Yes, sir. All right. It's delicious. I love Cut Above's mezcal. What exactly is this cocktail, and is it on the menu right now?
It's on the menu all the time. It's obviously dry January, but it's on the menu all the time. It's a blood orange paloma.
Blood orange paloma. All right,
Made with
build
mezcal.
it, boo.
Yeah,
Build it.
sweet. So, it's a
All right,
big
so
cocktail.
at the bar in Ninfas,
Yeah.
do you see any sort of mess going on there? Because, people be fighting in bars, okay? But I feel like at a restaurant bar, it might be a little bit more different.
No, it happens there all the time. I mean,
Really?
people get off of work and they just start talking like I'm not there, and I hear some juicy stories like all the time.
Come on.
It's awesome.
Tell me a little something.
Nah, I disappear and they don't even know that I'm listening because I got that bartender ear, so I'll just hear everything they're saying in the background. And some ladies talk like I don't know. They say some weird, some crazy off the wall stuff. But yeah, it's
Like,
fun.
yeah, I'm gonna divorce him tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna
type
get
stuff?
this. He's gonna be all mad, and just like off
Hold
the
on,
wall.
that was it? That was a
it.
cocktail?
Sorry, yeah.
What is this? What?
Mezcal, blood orange grapefruit, a little bit of lime juice, topped it off with jarritos.
Oh, see, that's how you do me. You
Yeah.
just talking, making the magic happen.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's see what this is about. I already know it's delicious if I'm being honest. Come on now. Come on, every time. I love it every time. Oh, hey, okay, y'all ready for refills. All right, listen. Best of luck to you in your relationships. And if you have to go for that dirty D word, try to keep it as clean as possible. We'll see you guys next time. We've got every episode of The Nightcap, and we can go for hours. Download the Fox Local app on any of the following smart TV platforms and get in on the fun.